Good morning. I think these videos, looking back at a couple, I never look back at them to sort of play them back, but I looked back just recently and I found a couple that were really prophetic in what I was saying. But I think the real value of these videos will be as a documentation of this entire period in history. It's like housewives' diaries from the war. They're just brilliant. It's only time that really gives them value. Now, it's quite possible that they won't survive anyway, so who cares? But the making of them has been brilliant, to just put down markers all the time for myself, to feel I'm making progress. For myself, in my own settled state of my own existence, and it's brilliant. It's just brilliant. It's possible, it's doable. If someone like me, a narcissistic, corrupted beta male, can find a way through the madness, to unpick the lies, and find peace and the salvation at the end of it. Well, at the end, now, what will come next, who knows? But this morning when I awoke, the first thought that I brought my thought to was the love of God. And I felt it. And it's the most wonderful place to abide. And I found that I can just, any thought, I can replace it with, I'm loved by God. And the thought can be then viewed in its proper context. It's fantastic. What are we going to do you think? What's going to happen? There's going to be a disaster coming. And we have to be ready to face our deaths. We have to trust our ancestors here, that the survivors of these disasters are not, they didn't live through the disaster, they all died, but some came back. Okay? Sounds unlikely, doesn't it? You look at all the science tells you, so that's impossible. But it's impossible that anyone survived that disaster. If you want some evidence about the scale of destruction, why we see no evidence of ancient civilizations at all, apart from the Antikythera mechanism and one or two bits and pieces, because it travels through time, is that the destruction is massive. And I want you to look at the unconformities in geology. Just look them up on Wikipedia and see what they are, and then take this as an explanation for what occurred. 1,000 mile an hour winds, 100 mile high tsunamis, smashing repeatedly across the planet. As it adjusts itself, the entire planet is destroyed. At the moment, then it settles, and bang, flowering of evolution. And I give you the Cambrian as the example. Now, that's what you have to be ready for, to face that death. And the work you can do now, and should have been doing up to this point, will prepare you for it. And meet it with a happy heart, it's fine. If you're living with the morality and the love of God, then you're more likely to be one of the ones who comes back, and it will be you, your energy, your light, your soul that will return, and you'll be given another body. Just like the cycle goes through, that's what happens when we, in normal times, when a child is born, it has the energy of an eternal soul, an immortal soul. It just has to realize that that's what it's got. So that's what happens now that's what's going to happen ahead of us. Okay? And just be ready for it. Because if you meet it with anything other than the love of God, it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be hard enough as it is. But it'll be fast. Don't worry. But if you can just face it and know that this is for our own good, and that it'll be worth it, meet it with a happy heart. If we can carry a huge, what's the word I want? A tsunami of love. Imagine a planet being destroyed by imagine the Pacific Ocean raising itself to a mile high. I think I was exaggerating, 100 miles. A mile high tsunami from the Pacific has been built up from a meteorite strike. And it's heading our way. And there's earthquakes and stuff going on, and we know this tsunami is coming. We've got time to prepare in our minds for this thing to come. If we can meet that mass death with love of God in our hearts, the love we will carry into the soul world will be so enormous that the return journey will be so beautiful. Who knows how many of us can come back. Imagine, and this may be true, imagine if anyone who enters the soul world in that way comes back, carries their knowledge, carries their wisdom, carries their memories, carries their information, carries who they are from now across that divide into the future. Imagine if that's true, what we could do. Because I imagine that might be me. And if it's not me, then I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'll stay in the soul world. The difference is I'll be able to feel emotion here. And I love to feel emotion, because when I feel emotion, I feel alive. And that, my friends, is really what this is all about. Learn how to be alive and to love it. And I know you will. I know you won't let me down. Because you can either meet this with a gnashing and a wailing of teeth, or with a love of God in your heart. Choose. Remember that one? Love rules, now and in the future. Welcome to New Earth. Buckle up.